Hey guys, welcome to Cricket Fanatics Magazine, and this is your daily show, the final daily show of 2020. So we want to put 2020 behind us, of course, and we want there's a lot of things that went wrong this year, of course. We know with the coronavirus hitting us, a lot of people suffered, a lot of people struggled to get through the year. But it's finally come to an end, and we're hoping that things will turn around in the new year. So, first and foremost, to everybody out there, thanks so much for supporting us. For the last 1.5 years, it's been quite a journey. And I have to first and foremost say thank you to everybody out there for helping us reach the end of this year successfully. There's so much that we've been doing. There's so much that's to come, and I'm so proud and grateful for all of you that have followed us on this journey. As you know, we're a small independent company, and we started this company about 1.5 years ago. I will never forget the day. It was during the World Cup. South Africa were in turmoil in the World Cup at that time. I was still working at a previous company. I was having some issues over there. I was meant to go to the World Cup, but it was a very heartbreaking story that I ended up not being able to go. There were some problems with my visas and etc. And it was really heartbreaking that I didn't get an opportunity to actually go to England and see that experience and be able to live that experience, because everything was packed. I was ready at the airport, and we had problems with my visa when I got to the line before I could fly to England to go support. And by that time, it was too late for me to go. And there's a lot more that I would like to say, but I don't want to do this on a live stream. But it was very heartbreaking the way it ended. And I decided to open up my own magazine, my own publication, use all the savings that I have available to myself, use everything that I have to actually produce a piece of work that I'm proud of, that you guys can be proud of, that cricket fans can be proud of, that everybody can be proud of. And we started on this venture a year and a half ago. Like I said, I think it was in 1st of July of 2019. And it was quite a journey since then. And you guys have been there supporting us from the beginning. And we obviously covered a lot of tours in that time. We did the England tour, when obviously South Africa were completely destroyed in that tour, besides drawing the ODIs, I think it was, and then we lost the T20s quite significantly. And then obviously Australia, we got destroyed in the T20s, but then we won the ODIs, and we covered all of that. We got some exclusive, amazing content, and then lockdown hit us. And I looked up and I was like, what are we going to do? Especially for a company that is 100% bootstrapped like ours. This company is 100% bootstrapped. It's myself and my dad actually that went into business together. And we decided that we're going to bring you guys a publication that is 100% free. All the content that we produce is free. We try to give you the best quality content that we can provide you. And it's going to remain that way. We're going to continuously produce free content for you. We got a lot of guys contributing from all over the world, giving their insights, giving their opinions, because we want to give the fans an opportunity to have a voice. We want to give you guys an opportunity to ask us questions, get them answered, give your own opinions, etc. That's what we want to be able to do for you. And we want to continue doing that. When lockdown hit, it hit us all hard. I think a lot of people struggled, and we had to come up with a new idea on how we're going to give you guys content when there's no cricket happening. So we started the On Lockdown series, where we went through over 50 episodes, giving you insights into cricketers, from Lance Klusener to Vinnie Barnes to Ashwell Prince to Reinhard van Tonder before. This is before everybody actually knew his name. To Michael Pretorius, to so many other top cricketers like Heinrich Klaassen and so many more. Zubair Hamza, Jason Smith. There's so many that we've done. 50, like I said, 50 names. Some personalities that are in cricket as well. We did Dalen Oliver, which was an excellent, funny interview of a guy that used to play cricket provincially and tried to push for that SA schools teams, etc. And he was actually played in Kaya Majorla weeks before and then became a comedian. And one of the main MCs in cricket at the moment is Dayden Oliver. So there's a nice story about him as well. We had an amazing square leg gully show, which we're going to look to revamp again in times gradually. We've done Legends with Ravi. We've spoke to so many great legends. We've done this daily show where we update you on all the daily news. And then we have our main event, which is the Sunday podcast, where we spoke about we speak about anything in cricket, and we just lay back and you give an opportunity to you guys to get to know us. We also have cricketfanaticsmag.com, which you guys know about. That is when we update you on everything with regards to cricket. That is where we give you daily articles. We publish about 60 articles every single month almost. And it's for you guys 100% free, and we try to update you on everything. We obviously have a match center where we update you on all the matches that are happening. We have from session moments to player moments, if it's a limited overs match, some excellent insight like setting the scenes, and also some excellent insights like opinion pieces, fan opinions. We give you guys as fans an opportunity to write for us as well. You can just email us at cricketfanaticsmag@gmail.com and get your content published. All of this we give to you. And then we decided we were going to open up a monthly magazine, which was always the aim. And we've now officially done that. We have 6 issues available for you, working on the 7th issue quite hard at the moment. So we brought all of this to you. So now it's an opportunity for me to ask you guys to help and support us. Recently, we've opened up a Patreon account. Now, the link is in the description for all the tiers. It's an opportunity for you guys to support us because, as I said before, this company is 100% bootstrapped, and we are an independent company, and we would like to have your help to help us create better content going forward in the new year, giving an opportunity also to you guys to have your voices heard. We'll have exclusive content that we'll produce for our patrons, and it's an opportunity for you guys to be able to maybe ask questions directly to players and get a lot closer to the players. There's also going to be some excellent community where you guys can chat to each other and to us and ask us so many questions. We'll also try and give you guys some extra promotion, and also give you guys an opportunity to be shown on the screen with your comments. There's going to be shows directly to our Patreons, etc., and that will all grow over the next year. So guys, all I can ask for you is get involved with the super chats. Obviously, get involved with the Patreon. The link is in the comment section below, in the description. So please, you can just go ahead and support us as best as you can, and I really appreciate that. So let's get into today's show. Today, it's up to you guys. I'm going to be chatting to my friends, whoever calls in or decides to call in on the show. But I'm going to give you guys opportunity to ask us anything you want, and we can just have a conversation and do a live Q&A with you guys. But let's do that. First and foremost, let me just tell you guys to please, 40% of you not subscribed and you're watching our videos, so subscribe to this channel, click that notification bell for all future videos, and let's get into it. I've gotten my first caller in, someone that I met a long time ago, and it was an interesting, actually, I did a fan cam with him when India played South Africa at Newlands, and I interviewed him, and we had a conversation, and we became friends since then. And I mean, we obviously met up again virtually because of the IPL, and he gave us some amazing insight from that. And then more than that, he gives an outsider's view on cricket in South Africa. So it's an amazing, and I'm very proud to call him my friend, and it's Aditya. And welcome to the show again, Aditya. Thank you so much for joining.
Very kind.
So how are you doing? I mean, you've got about 20 minutes until it's New Year for you in India. So what's the day been like?
It's been pretty relaxed, but for the most part, there have been a few stricter restrictions in play because of the worry that things might go overboard on this day in particular. But otherwise, it's been fine. It's been just like the last 9 months. Yeah, that's not a lot going on.
Yeah, it's the same for us. So I don't know if you know what's happening in South Africa, but a couple of days before Christmas, I think it was, we went on another lockdown. So we went to lockdown 3. So the curfew's been changed because the curfew was already changed till 11 o'clock in the evening, but the curfew's now changed again to 9 p.m. So you can't do anything really, because I mean, our New Year's basically starts at 9 p.m. basically, because you can't go anywhere. All the shops close at 8. No alcohol's been sold. So people are like to stock up before that curfew was open. And it was quite tricky because he kind of announced it at about 8 o'clock in the evening, and he said no, but the restrictions are starting from midnight, so there was no liquor stores open for people to go stock up. So it was quite hectic. I'm going to put the guys out there that I have tuned in. I've just announced that we're going to be doing a Patreon where you guys can help us to become a patron, and you can become a fan of Cricket Fanatics magazine and support us as a bootstrap company and help us grow so that we can bring you better and more more content and better content next year. So the link is in the live chat for you guys to just click on and you can become a fan immediately. But Aditya, I mean, this year, I mean, what has been some of the highlights for you? Yeah, I think that's what we can actually talk about right now. And the fans, get involved in the comments, ask us questions, tell us what your favorite moments of the year were so far. And Aditya, it's over to you. What is your some of the best moments you have?
First off, it's the opportunity to come and talk cricket, with you and the rest of the team, as I mentioned to you in my message. It's been an interesting year for cricket. It's probably the first time in our history where we've had international level cricket being played without any fans, and
Mhm.
to have that privilege to be able to watch cricket, to have live sport on in these times is testament to the determination of the authorities to have cricket on, and certainly the loyalty of the patrons who spend a lot of time watching. So
Yeah,
that's so we're lucky to have that. But more than that, I think um, we have a huge year coming up, in front of us with a busy cricket calendar for virtually every single team in the world. But it's great to see that New Zealand has now become the number one Test team. Kane Williamson has become the number one Test batsman,
he's
and we're
incredible. Eh?
seeing things that we haven't seen before. So yeah, interesting.
Yeah, no, he's incredible. Kane Williams is one of my favorite players actually, and it's not just because of the type of player he is. It's also a lot to do with the human being he is. He's
Yeah,
a very humble guy. I mean, you would have seen as well the way he talks in the IPL. For you, what is it about cricket this year that maybe shocked you the most? I mean, we've seen like a complete contrast from seeing fans packing stadiums to
yeah,
within a month or two, nothing at all. Um, I see Bad Panda talking about over here beating Australia 3-0. To see that live and to have that memory as kind of like the last memory that I had before of fans
yeah,
in a stadium, almost in a way. It was a kind of like the last international like memory that I have to see Calvin Rainer in action, of course, guys, to see Calvin Rainer perform your 18 in that particular series. But for you, let's talk about the positives first at the beginning of this year. What were some of the main highlights for you?
it's all a blur to be honest. But I think Australia had come to India, and we beat them pretty comprehensively, which was great to see. But I think I'd say the IPL was a highlight in a lot of ways. And actually, even before the IPL, I'd have to say the England versus West Indies tour, because that was like a lot of the cricket that happened in the latter half of the year has been modeled on how England and West Indies played through that series. So, reality, I think we'd have to give credit to the West Indies for traveling at a time when COVID cases across the world were at the highest, and for them to have played the series in the way that they did, and how competitive it became, between the two teams,
Yeah,
as well as the series against Pakistan soon after, was perhaps the template that gave other cricket boards the confidence to be able to hold the IPL and then international cricket. So I think, yeah, England and West Indies certainly deserve a lot of that credit.
yeah. I mean, there's so much. I mean, I was very impressed with the way players adapted to the COVID situation. And when I was doing my own lockdown episodes, etc., and talking to them, to some of the players, to hear their mindsets. Okay, in South Africa, it's a bit different, obviously, because in South Africa, we were kind of in the summer period, we were in the winter period anyway, we now break. So a lot of them, for the first couple of months that they were in lockdown, or the month that they were in lockdown, it was a nice break for them anyway, because they were on break anyway. But when it started to get to our summer again, and the players had to prepare, that's when things changed. And they were given, like, they had to predict what things would be like when cricket comes back again. We've got another caller in, Aditya. I'm so happy that he's joined the stream, because I mean, he's been a big part towards the latter stages of our year, actually, because we never started off this journey with him. He was supporting us on all platforms all the time, and commenting on our content and watching our things. But he started becoming a contributor more towards the latter stages of everything. So I'm proud to again announce and Lobobalo Getting him on the stream will be excellent right now to hear what some of his best moments were. Welcome to the show, Lubuvalo. How you doing, bro? How's your pre-New Year's Eve celebrations going? Okay, you can just rejoin again, Lubuvalo. Your network's a bit wonky. It's fine. 2020. I mean, we can't leave 2020 behind without network problems. We had our women's show that we started. Obviously, I don't know if you guys tuned into that
Right.
earlier on, but they had some liquid issues there too. And I just had to tell the girls, look, they're very nervous because I mean, it's the first time they're obviously doing these things, and they were obviously very disappointed that things went a little bit wrong for them. And I told them, look, yeah, you just need to slow down. Don't worry about it. Don't stress about it. These things happen. It's happened to me before as well. Aditya, has happened to me with you on the stream. So, so these things happen. Obviously, we can't really help it. The technology is crazy, and I mean, people say
Yeah.
yes, it's a South African thing. It's not a South African thing. I've had guests from
Global
England,
thing.
wink, 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 in the comment section that also had some network issues. So Cricket Connoisseur is chilling there, and he does. I would have loved to see him on the stream. It would have been excellent to hear your comments. You chirping over here with regards to saying that Iditya with his fresh trim, and as well as you talking about Asaranga's biggest fan, Lububalo. We were just waiting for Lububalo to sort out his network quickly. You can just message me in the private chat, Lububalo, when you're ready, and then I'll join. I'll bring you on the stream. But yeah, it's been excellent, guys, so far. I mean, through everything, I feel that the hardest part was to actually produce content when there's nothing to talk about. I think that was the hardest thing for
Yeah.
us. I mean, we got lucky with the IPL, I think, Aditya, because that kind of kickstarted everything actually for us. It continued the momentum because South Africa was getting to that stage where we weren't sure we were going to see international cricket or not. And we were all getting scared with everything that was happening in the boardroom. I'm so glad that things are starting to maybe turn a new leaf over there, that we're starting to see new things. I'm so glad that that's changing around because we were so scared that cricket was going to get banned in South Africa. And that was
Yeah.
I remember that's when we were talking about all of that as well. Um, for you, the IPL, how important was that to turning this year around?
Very. Because that the question of whether the IPL was going to be played or not was dominating the Indian media for such a long time. Because it's a huge tournament and it typically takes a month and a half. So there was certainty that India was going to go to Australia because Australia was making progress in the fight against COVID. But before that, where could we find a window and where could we actually play the IPL? That was a massive concern for a period of time, and I'm glad it happened, and I'm glad it happened, the way it did, because the quality of cricket remained the same. It was excellent, and I think the players adapted brilliantly as well. For all
Yeah.
the concerns about there not being a crowd or whatever, I think uh, the uh, the telecasters, they did a brilliant job in sorting that out. At least for the audience, the
Mm.
TV watching audience.
I think the I for me the IPL's done it the best actually out of all the other cricketing things that we've seen because I mean I think it's been
Yeah,
lacking in cricket. When I heard it the first time in the Premier League, I was like, wow. At first it sounded a bit fake, and then
yeah,
afterwards it started sounding a little bit like FIFA. And I was like,
yeah,
okay, it's not so bad actually. I might be the only one that thinks that, but I think the way the IPL kept the vibe, it still felt like an IPL. Okay, yes, you don't have the thousands and thousands of fans screaming, which makes the
yeah.
IPL what it is. But it was still okay. I felt that it gave still an IPL vibe, but there were so many games thick and fast. Theo, I hope you're gonna get some more guys to call in, but it's okay. Let's get a comment over here from Bad Panda, and he says, "Do you think the Proteas can get back to number one under Mark Boucher?" Aditya, this is something we can talk about for ages. So
Definitely.
let's think about it. Okay, so it's a tough one because I don't look at this particular coaching staff as Mark Boucher's team. I give Enoch Nkwe a lot of credit too, because I think what his influence in the dressing room is not spoken about enough. because I know how much the players actually respect him as a coach and respect his views. When he won that MSL, I thought it was an excellent achievement. I thought the way that his team played, the brand of cricket they played, the intensity they played with, and keeping that consistency throughout the season. You know, sometimes you'll see teams start off slowly and then ease their way into a tournament and then come back and win the tournament. I mean, the Mumbai Indians were consistent in the tournament, but they had some, ups and downs throughout the season and before they actually won this year. But like with regards to the Josie Stars, they were almost dominant throughout that particular campaign. And for a guy to come in off that record to win 2 trophies, obviously with the Lions as well, and then win the MSL trophy as well in the inaugural tournaments, the first ever tournament. The show, like you have to put on a show because I mean, people were talking badly about, as South Africans do, talking badly about the tournament before it even happened. So it was quite hectic to actually see him perform the way he did. But what are your thoughts on Mark Boucher so far? From you've seen as an outsider,
He's a tough nut, and he's definitely going to instill that grit, resilience, and determination that we typically see in South African teams of the past. And I think that's not going to change. You know, there's the focus on fitness. You know, the focus on playing smart but aggressive cricket, as he's talked about a lot, and just this emphasis. I think the clarity on how he's managing his players. That's it. The communication has been spot on. I think that's been outstanding. Um, Number one or not, I think that's a question mark. You know, not because South Africa can't do it, but I think the nature of it's possibly the next cycle of the World Test Championship that will sort of determine how it plays out, because in this cycle there's been a lot of confusion um, about how the points have been distributed in the period that COVID happened and Test cricket wasn't played. So there's confusion there. But if you're talking about talent, aptitude, there's no doubt that Mark Barcher and his support staff can get the Proteas to be the number one team. But we've got to see how it plays out in the next year or so.
Yeah, we're gonna have to see that because it's not just about style of cricket. It's not just about the players that we have. It's about building a team culture, And for me, that's the most important thing. Oh my Lord. And he comes on the last stream of the year, flexing with a brand new mic and a brand new headphones.
Yes, indeed, boys.
To the show. And wow, you looking professional. I love it.
I thought I would do my final Khalid impersonation of the year tonight, boys. And of course, it is here fantastic to see you on the stream as well, mate. Been a very, very good year for us all, I think, given the circumstances.
Yeah, I think so. And I just to add to what Aaron said, yes, it's been a fantastic year. We've been producing content all across the ground, even the cricket connoisseur as well. I really look up to what you do on Instagram, especially. And now that you're venturing into the digital podcasting world, well, I love that because, I mean, you have the voice for it, you have the attitude for it, you have the personality for it. Guys out there, please help us as well to support because we are all independent guys. We're trying to fund our own careers over here. We have a Patreon account that you guys can log on to right now. The link is in the description. I also put it in the live chats for you guys to click on. We have different tiers for you guys to support us on. You get benefits from it, amazing benefits from it too. You can go read that up and see what you're paying for. You're not just paying for nothing. So we also have a super chat where you can get your chats highlighted. The super chat is on the bottom right of the screen. I have chat. So Aaron, let's start off. Before you answer the question on the screen, let's start off with what was your favorite part of this year. I can kind of guess what it kind of was in a way. I mean, leading into it, but what was your favorite moments of this year so far? And also try to throw in some South African moments too.
Of course. I know I'm here in my Sri Lanka shirt, but I do like the Proteas as well. But I think the first place to start with regards to 2020 is, of course, with England. Right at the beginning of the year, the very first test match of our summer, well, not of our summer, but of our year as a whole. in Cape Town, winning on the final day. Absolute scenes at Newlands in front of the Barmy Army. Dom Sibley as well, who plays for my county of Warwickshire, seeing him score his first ever Test century. I just thought from there the year would have got better and better, and unfortunately, 2020 struck. But it was just fantastic. It was champagne cricket to watch from an England fan's perspective, and then the rest of the series went our way as well. So very, very good start to the year. Thoroughly enjoyed that. And couldn't really complain about the early part of 2020. With regards to South Africa, though, I think we have to look in particular in this last game. I mean, we're seeing some good batting, which is very, very good. While speaking there about the England series, there wasn't as much good batting from the South Africans in that one. But to score, 620 something?
21.
Mm-hmm.
There we go, Aditya, thank you. 621. It's fantastic to see that. So, and also, you got to think as well with South Africa, a lot of good youngsters coming through. I got asked this tonight with regards to just picking out a few. And you've already mentioned Carl Verreynne, Khalid. You also got Gerald Coetzee, Wandile, Makwetu. You've got guys like Renaud van Tonder coming through. John O'Bird's another one. So I think all in all, there's definitely positives. Okay, South Africa not where they want to be. I think we can all admit that. They're certainly not where I want them to be at all. I prefer them to be one of the stronger teams in international cricket across all three formats. But the fact is, if the Proteas can utilise these young guys now, accept that this is going to be a transition phase and build from this foundation. I mean, this is also going to answer a bit of this next question. But I do see there being a bit of a resurgence and a renaissance almost in South African cricket. It's just a case of the board has to be patient, the coaching staff has to be patient, and of course, most importantly, seeing as we're talking to cricket fans right now, is the fans. The fact is, this is a process. This takes time. England did it. India did it in the past. Australia, of course, that golden age. Every single team goes through ups and downs in the sporting journey. Okay, and you've got to realise at the moment, South Africa aren't where they want to be, but they're going to get there, and it could take time. It could take a decade. But just think the promised land is there. It's on the horizon at some point. And just keep the faith, basically. As I said in my article, what was it, about a month ago now? Yeah. So that's all I've got to say, really, boys.
Cool, that's awesome. Aditya, because I wanted to ask you, you spoke about that tough nut to crack, Mark Boucher. Do you think that South Africa needed that tough love in a way? Because, I mean, you guys have it with your coach as well. Yeah, the Indian coach, I feel, is similar. I love the way he presented himself in the media. Especially when you guys came to South Africa, and obviously beat us. Didn't beat us in the Test series. Sorry, when you won at the Wanderers. In the way he portrayed himself and the way he spoke about it when you guys did lose a match to us. I like the way he backs his players 100%, man. And he but also he's not afraid of criticizing when he needs to. Do you think that tough love, that Mark Boucher, that tough persona that Mark Boucher gives, is what South Africa needed right now?
Definitely. It's important because I think a lot of the cricket that we've seen from South Africa for various reasons has not been of the sort of consistency that we're used to seeing from them. And this is also a period in South African cricket where they need to find 3 different ways to play Test cricket, one-day cricket, and T20 cricket. There has been, in the one-day international format, there has been struggles with selection and with consistency in batting and with the management of bowlers and so on, and it's been pretty similar in T20. So I think Boucher can help them figure out distinct ways of playing each of the 3 formats, and it's going to be useful for them. But in addition to that, I also hope that there is consistency in selection. So I really liked what he said the other day at the press conference, when someone asked him, do you see the batting order changing for the next Test or in the Pakistan series? And his response was quite categorically, they've just scored 600 in this innings. Why would I chop and change my batting order? I love that. I love that because generally people think of, let's go horses for courses, what's par for these conditions and so on. But he's like, no, you know what? We're going to stick with this team and we'll see how they go. So I really like that message of consistency. It's good for the players. It's good for the public. And it instills a sense of confidence in everyone that Boucher's not going to change his philosophy based on results. It's going to be with a conviction and he's going to stick with it.
100%. I think the way he answered that was we played it earlier on in the Offside Maiden show. We played it for the girls, and their reaction was quite funny because they were like, wow, like they didn't expect that. Because I didn't tell them what was in the clip. I wanted to surprise them, so I told them. They obviously I wanted to let them see it raw and then react to it, and it was amazing what he said there. And I think that, to an extent, obviously, in my heart of hearts, I want to see all of the youngsters get thrown in the deep end and perform and wow us all and become the next Colors and the next Gibbs and the next Graham Smith and all of that. But I mean, what Bao just said was actually right. And I think that was excellent in the way that he did it. Because, I mean, you have no experience in the side currently. So, like, besides Faf du Plessis. And the way he spoke about Faf in that press conference, it sounded like a coach that has that guy's back. You know, he's like gold dust to us. I mean, that was an excellent headline to go with. And Aditya pulled that headline out for us. But it was an excellent headline to go with and a story to go with, because we need to kind of, someone said it, we need to wrap up Faf du Plessis. And we need to keep him. Okay, like that's what we need to do. How's it to everybody out there that have joined in on the stream right now? Just to let you guys know, there's a link in the description. We launched a Patreon so that you guys can help support us grow and create better content in the future. There's different tiers for you guys to be a part of. Obviously, you know that Cricket Fanatics magazine is 100% bootstrapped, and we've created content over the years absolutely for free, and it's going to remain that way. We will still bring you all the shows that we are currently doing right now, absolutely free for you guys, including our magazine. All we would like is just a little bit of a donation to you guys to help us moving forward. It won't affect the content that you'll be getting. So if you don't pay us, we will still produce the content. The payment will obviously just help us be able to do new things, maybe get a better background and a studio where I can actually sit in the future. Because currently I just have my whiteboard, and every single time you guys see different things on the whiteboard. So this is where all my planning takes place. We do have a super chat live for you guys right now in the bottom right hand corner of the super chat, where you guys can click and obviously support us with a few comments as well. So yeah, let's continue this conversation. I mean, we have Bad Panda again saying Boucher just keeps it simple, which is what Proteas need in these complicated times. It's 100% true. And then we've got an amazing comment. I think the best comment so far from Lubabalo, which is...
I knew it was coming.
So for you guys that don't know, we've got multiple WhatsApp groups. There was one particular one for the England series where Aaron's a part of that, and I think we were planning the England series reviews, because I had Aditya in a separate group because he was doing the review. So it's like, I need to combine everybody into one big group. It would be great if I could just do that, actually, because we've got separate groups running. And Lubabalo and Aaron have a go at each other constantly, and I love it, the banter. I think some guys are complaining because Aaron likes to recycle memes, so people have to get.
End of the day, recycling is good for the environment, Khalid. Okay, so no problem with using a meme the same time over and over and over again, as long as it's nice and fresh. And to be fair, Lubabalo calling me out on YouTube with my poor meme game. I'm not the meme merchant. I'm the cricket connoisseur. Okay, my job is to analyze this game, not to make memes. So, yeah, I don't know what else to say. All I'll say, Luba, come on here, profess your love for Wanindu Hasaranga, and then we'll talk.
That was excellent, because I mean, Luo is not the biggest fan of Saranga, so it was excellent to actually see him perform actually in the test. Because what happens is, like, a lot of us have opinions about certain things, and we don't really mean it in a harmful way. We just want to give our opinion on something, and then sometimes we have to bite our own words, or basically eat our own words, because that's happened to me on countless of occasions where I've come on here, spoke confidently about someone, and they prove me completely wrong. So I actually love it when players do that, if they're not from the opposition team. So I think the biggest learning curve from a South African perspective, I think, for me, is the learnings that we learned from England. I think we played you guys twice this year, and I think it helped make us strong as a team. I think it was the correct test at the correct time, to see where we stand and where we are compared to, I would say, the best team in the world currently in basically all formats. Test you can maybe say that they're still growing and they're still learning with some new guys on the side amongst. But what's luckily for England, they have experienced guys on the side that the younger players can learn from, something which South Africa doesn't have. I think India is going to go into that problem in a couple of years' time too, when your older guys start leaving, etc. But I think that your transitional phases are like almost not. You don't even see them. It doesn't even happen. Like it's almost like seamless. Aditya, what is it from your side? Why do you think that happens? And wait, before you start talking, we got another guest that has just joined, which is Mr. Bai, who's been so amazing with all his content that he's done for cricket, for Cricket Fanatics magazine. But before you talk, Bai, and say hello to everybody, we have to say Happy New Year to Aditya, because now currently it's New Year for him. He's 6 minutes in. I forgot to say it because while Aaron was talking about his meal. So to all our Indian fans and to everybody out there, Happy New Year to you. And I'm going to say Happy New Year to all the South Africans out there as well. We're not going to go do the stream until midnight unless you guys want it. Wink, wink. I'm just joking. maybe if we can get a nice studio built and everything and all of those things, and you guys can get involved with the patrons, maybe we can do a New Year's stream where we go right into midnight. That's fine for you, Adam, because you're like way behind us, so you have extra.
True, very true. We've still got how many, like 5 hours. My maths is correct. 5 hours and 20 minutes.
Aditya told us earlier on about these restrictions. We spoke about our restrictions as well. I just want to know, because for South Africa, for example, we have a curfew at 9 p.m. So there's no celebrations here for New Year's. Aditya spoke about the restrictions in India as well. Do you guys also have restrictions, heavy restrictions in England now with New Year's, or have they kind of calmed down a bit?
No, they've got a lot worse, unfortunately. So usually on New Year's, we have like this massive fireworks display in London by Big Ben. Obviously, we have like this end of year, almost like review. They play like a compilation of the best things from the year. That's been cancelled. We don't have obviously the crowds there in London this year. There's no local events on either. And yeah, we've been moved here in Warwickshire to Tier 4, which is the highest. Which isn't amazing. It means that we can no longer go down to the cricket nets or even see anyone, basically, unless you go for like a 20-minute walk with someone in the same house. So it's not great, unfortunately. But at the same time, you've got to look ahead to 2021. Hopefully there's a vaccine on the horizon, and fingers crossed we can all return back to a bit more normality next year, because it's been a very, very hard slog for us all, hasn't it? Well, across the world. So yeah, not brilliant at the moment, but we remain positive, remain optimistic, and yeah, bring on 2021, I say. Yeah.
So are there certain traditions, maybe besides the fireworks, of course, are there certain traditions that you guys do that maybe we can talk about? I'll talk to you about what South Africans do.
To be honest, in terms of us personally, as in our immediate family, not really. It's basically just, as I said, watch that fireworks display, obviously stay up till midnight, and then you go to bed, don't you? In terms of celebrations and stuff, there's this thing called Auld Lang Syne. It's a song. It's Scottish. I'm not going to sing it because you don't want to be deafened. So. But but yeah, it's just a nice time of year, to be honest. But yeah, I don't think it's not like Christmas or Easter per se, where there's like specific celebrations. It's just that everybody watches that, stays up late, has a bit of a party, and then yeah, we're done. But of course, this year that isn't the case. Yeah. But what's like in the Rainbow Nation, Khalid? What are the celebrations?
Well, I think it depends on what type of personality you are, really, because I mean, generally speaking, certain groups of people would go flock to the beaches, and that's normally where people will spend their New Year's, and sometimes till the next morning, you'll see people that are still there on New Year's Day, and the beaches are packed on New Year's Day. So they've banned all of that now currently because of coronavirus, of course. The beaches have been closed and all of that. All shops all closed at 8 o'clock. We have a curfew at 9 p.m. so nobody can go out really and do anything. Some people are saying they're going to be lighting candles for everybody that has lost their lives during coronavirus. So I think you can just stand on your stoop maybe and just light a candle at 9 p.m. for that, or at midnight, for those people that have lost their lives. So the braai, of course, you've heard about it in the group in extent. We braai over here, not barbecue. So that's something that we always will do. Maybe some families will do it before and some people will do it on New Year's Day. But let's listen to a new caller. We've got a buy in the back end waiting for us. So let's bring him to the stream. Welcome, bro. I haven't seen you in forever. I don't know if you abandoned us or what happened.
Oh no, I was just pretty busy. But anyway, good morning, guys. I think this is the first time I'm in a live show with TCC, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct, a boy.
Is that so? Is that it? Yeah. All right. So yeah.
An
early happy New Year to both of you guys.
Oh,
what does it feel like to be on the stream with TCC? What does it feel like to be with a celebrity, TCC?
No.
I could hardly wait for this. Believe me, I could hardly wait for this.
See you go. There you go, Aaron. You have your first fan that you're speaking to live.
To be fair,
bye. This is like almost like his Instagram, so you can go in ahead and ask him any question you want.
We've done an Instagram live together, haven't we? Bye. We did that.
Yeah, it was pretty short, but
yeah, we've already done it, Khalid. Don't worry. In fact, to be fair, we could interrogate the host of Cricket Fanatics tonight. Actually, flip the roles.
Time to rotate the board. Rotate the board.
Actually.
Correct. I think we do that, Abai. And of course, everyone in the chat as well, get your questions in for Khalid for once. So, Khalid, I will flip that onto you then. Okay, I want to know your opinion on something. And that is about this test series.
You're in the hot seat now.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yes, I love it.
for this test series, I want a prediction for the second test match. I'm guessing you're going to say a South Africa win, but what are you looking for in that game particularly?
So, I expect a fight back from Sri Lanka. With a coach like Mickey Arthur, I don't think that he's just going to sit back and just allow them to get it rolled over. So for me, I think I hope that they don't get injuries because I really want to see a fight because I feel that I know people said, yeah, when Sri Lanka got injuries in this particular test match that South Africa just dominated. But I think that we should get a little bit more credit because when we started playing, they were all fit. And we actually put on a great partnership with Aiden Markham and Dean Alga. And that was one of the main takeaways for me. I think from that point of view, I'm looking for a fight at the Wanderers. I think that with the addition of Kagiso Rabada, it's going to make a massive difference because now that you have KG and Lungi maybe opening up the bowling, or possibly we might see Björn Hendricks in this particular test. I think he would have got an opportunity because obviously after England, he performed well. He got a 5-4 on debut. So, I think he would have been in this test match if he wasn't for the coronavirus scare that happened. We might see a little bit of a change, but I think that you're going to see different players perform than you did. But I think that Aiden is hungry. And because he didn't get a second innings to prove himself, to get that big milestone, I think we might see a big milestone from him in this particular test match. And I think that someone like Rassie is really going to stand up on his own ground. I think that's something that we might just see. I predict a win for South Africa, yes, but I don't think by a lot. We have the best groundsman possibly in South Africa, definitely. I would say maybe pushing it without technology. Okay, if you take the technology out of it and you just take groundsman for groundsman, I think that we have Mr. Flint is one of the best groundsmen in the world. I feel personally, I think that's the way he thinks about the wickets and the way he thinks about laying out those tracks. He's a knowledge about the different weather conditions, etc. To see him at the Wanderers, I would love to see what he can do with the Wanderers wicket. I know what he can do at the Newlands wicket. For so many years, he's been excellent there. So I'm really excited to actually see what he can do there. So I'm predicting a win, but I'm not a massive win. I think maybe by 30, 40 runs, if we're going to by runs or about a couple of wickets.
Fair enough.
Anybody else have questions?
All right, so okay, I know I'm going a bit off topic, but the 4th is my birthday, and I want the Proteas to make my birthday week something memorable. I want to celebrate it with a nice win.
Of course. Abai, I want to know what it's like. You still have plenty of time until New Year's. So, for you, from your point of view, what do you guys traditionally do on New Year's? What are the restrictions like there currently with you guys on New Year's? Have you guys been, because obviously it's different in America to everywhere else.
Well, considering there's been quite a sharp rise in cases in recent times, I think yeah, it's pretty much a stay-at-home order at this point in time. So I'm just gonna play it safe. So I think today I'm just planning on catching up with a few friends through Zoom, maybe doing a Zoom quiz or something. Just spending time at home with family, maybe calling extended family. So I think, yeah, I'm just gonna keep it pretty simple as far as New Year's Eve is concerned.
Hmm. And what are sort of traditions? Because I want to buy to also mention some of the traditions that he does as well in India. What are some of the traditions that you have, that you do in America, generally speaking? We spoke about our brides and stuff that we do, etc. And sometimes the beach is obviously very popular in Cape Town when it comes to New Year's. Obviously closed off now during coronavirus. But what are some of the traditions for you guys?
Well, ideally, if there was no COVID, I probably would have driven up to San Francisco and I would have joined up with a few friends there. We probably would have had a great time. But obviously, I think we have to make a change now. So this is the next best plan I have, and I'll just stick with that.
Hmm. The wilder buy will come out on New Year's Eve. Hi, when it comes to Cape Town. Aditya, what is it like for you, man? With regards to generally without COVID-19 regulations, how would you guys celebrate it then?
So it depends, because I've actually spent New Year's at a couple of places in the last like 3 or 4 years. One New Year including Cape Town. So generally, it's meeting up with a couple of friends and um, just partying or something like that. Um, when I was in Cape Town, I spent about like an hour and a half driving 2 kilometers on on the 31st. So it was massive traffic around the waterfront area. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's great. But I've also spent some time in America on New Year's, and New York is amazing. With the
Yeah.
Times Square.
Yeah. I wish you took my
celebration.
number. I wish you took my number when we met in Cape Town, because I would have
Wait,
suggested
Aditya,
to
have
you.
you been to California before?
Yeah, multiple times.
Lucky.
Well, when was last time?
Last time in California, probably
Yeah.
2015.
Okay, it's been quite a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we don't all live in like we can't all afford to go to America every single year. Well, maybe if you guys become a Patreon, maybe we can all get out to America. So get to the link in the description. We've got our Patreon. This account is up and running. Abai, I never told you that. I wanted to tell you on the stream. I took your advice. We started a Patreon. Patreon's link is in the description. Send it out to as many people as you know that they can help support us grow, because you know that this company is 100% bootstrapped, and that's what
Without
we're
a
going to be
doubt.
doing. So, yeah, so we've got different tiers for you. We've got another friend that's coming on soon. I've got a question to me, thanks to Aaron. People don't normally ask me questions, and I actually like questions. So get the questions in the comment section below. So what do I write on my whiteboard? So this is where all the planning happens with regards to series, how we're going to cover a series, what we're going to write, what we're not going to write, who's going to cover what, who's not going to cover what, how are we going to strategize going forward. Everything happens on this whiteboard. So I normally have I almost have a meeting every single day strategizing on how we're going to move forward. Besides the content that we produce, we obviously have to think on how we're going to keep everything running. So that's why we say we need your guys' support to do that. Because obviously, like I said, savings, everything that we use, any single money that we can get is to keep everything up and running. So we got the Minister of Police joining us, Ravi. Welcome to the show. Great to see you, buddy.
Oh, sorry, it's a loud show. It was sorry.
No, it's all right, bro. You can have your thing. This is a festive night, so you can do what you want. Like, you like a pity that we can't obviously
All
take
English.
sponsorships from our companies, but we can take sponsorship from anybody else. Ravi, let's talk about the year, bro. What's been some of the great experience from your side with regards to the year? What were some of your favorite moments? Anything you want to say about Cricket Fanatics magazine? Some of the articles you've written there, etc. Go away, take it away, brother.
So when you say great moments, you mean as a South African cricket fan or as a fan of cricket in general?
I want you to go with of cricket in general, but I also want you to talk about some South African moments too. But let's start off with cricket in general.
Yeah, no, I think what's certainly been the case is that there's been a bit of theatrics. If you a follower of cricket in South Africa, there has been anything short of drama in the months leading up to us finally getting cricket back in the country. We've had some politics on and off the field. We've had some meaningful stances. I think the biggest positive for me is that some dialogues took place. I think we lived in a sort of Rainbow Nation bubble for a very long time. And you can call it sort of ignorance, you can call it denial, but I think it was a good opportunity for us to actually address our issues, especially being away from each other, considering the pandemic. So I think for me, that's the biggest positive, and I think we were able to confront issues without hiding behind sporting achievements in doing so. We've done that for so long, and I think it's just great for us to finally have some dialogue, hearing from players of colors was what the experiences were like joining the South African cricket team. I mean, a guy like Makai Ntini, I would have guessed he would have felt lonely. The man was a superstar. He's the third most successful test bowler in South African cricket history. You wouldn't think that he would have gone through something like that. We've heard from Tamiso Lekele, who had a very tainted end to his career, but it was a very good story nevertheless. It's important for us to learn from those lessons. And obviously, I think it was almost like a rite of passage for us to hear these stories, to hear the experiences from both sides of the fence while we were waiting for international cricket to return to our shores. I think this was like almost, as I said, a rite of passage. It was closure that we needed for us to take us forward. And I'm pretty certain we'll we'll return to winning ways momentarily as well.
Mm-hmm. Aaron, we got a comment over here asking about the England tour of India 2021. Can you give some updates on that?
In terms of the squads, obviously nothing's been said. In terms of the venues, though, it's Ahmedabad, so at the brand new Sardar Patel or Matera Stadium, the massive one. I can't wait to see that. Just a massive shame that there's no fans, though. Like, that is just such a massive shame. See a 100,000 or 110,000 seat stadium, and it's going to be empty. So a bit gutted about that. And then the other one is Pune, which is the MCA, the Maharashtra Cricket Association Stadium. It's where Australia played them quite a few years ago now. So two pretty spin-conducive venues, of course. It's the subcontinent. It's going to be a massive challenge for England. I don't expect us to come out with like a 3-1 victory by any means, but it's going to be a good test. It's going to be a good series between two very strong sides. I think India are definite favourites going into the series. And to be honest, I'm just looking forward to it. It isn't going to be the same. That's the only thing for me. I love England's series of it in India because of the passion, the vibrance, the atmosphere, and the intense love that Indian fans have. But yeah, unfortunately, apparently it's going to be behind closed doors for the foreseeable future. So that's a shame. But yeah, all in all, should be some blockbuster cricket in 2021. And yeah, definitely something to look forward to from both an English and an Indian perspective.
Definitely something I'm going to watch. What's
interesting about that? Sorry, on that. What's interesting about that is whenever you have a test match in India, and I'm sure Aditya will be able to provide some sort of testimony to that. It's pretty much a full house from day one, going all the way to the final day. Whereas here in South Africa, it takes a bit of a while for us to get to a capacity crowd. Obviously, if it's a one-day match, you're going to get a full house. But on day one, first session, first ball, there's hardly anybody here. But meanwhile, back in Australia and India, even you'll throw in England there's always a full house on the very first ball of the first session of play.
Ravi, we love our Red Bull. We love our Red Bull cricket in England.
Winning will change that, man.
What's not to like?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Winning changes that all. South Africans are glory hunters in a way, I would say. They're not, okay, that's a bad way of saying, not necessarily glory hunters, but we love to win. And when we're not winning, we don't support. Because I mean, like, what I'm talking about, like, yeah, like when the super, like, I'll never forget when I was at school. Sorry, it's a friend of mine. He's expecting. His wife is expecting. So obviously, I'm just checking in the group over here to see because.
Congrats to them.
Yeah. So So in South Africa, with Super Rugby is always very popular, especially Newlands Rugby Stadium used to be completely full all the time. But when South Africa were doing so poorly in the Rugby World Cup, the stadiums were empty. I was surprised. I went to watch a massive game in the Super Rugby, and I'm like, there's hardly anybody in the seats. I've never seen so little people at Newlands Rugby. But now that they are winning again, and now South Africa's world champions, I think a lot more people are going to go watch. So I think it's the same thing with cricket. For so many years, we've been disappointed and disappointed. If we win one World Cup, i.e. 2023 World Cup, I think everything will change. If we win the T20 World Cup, even better, then we'll get a lot more fans a lot easier. If we can beat some of the top, if we can beat Australia and Pakistan and all of them in tests, I think we'll see a lot more people when we can see. Luckily, it's from that perspective that there's no fans, because it will be a poor thing for us if we didn't have fans in the stadium when we came to watch against Sri Lanka. From that perspective,
sorry, Kali, I was sort of come in here. You know what's interesting is I watched the test very recently, and what I've noticed is that when England appointed Andy Flower, there was a sort of a methodology, there was a process that was involved to get them back into winning ways. They actually threw in, they said it was kind of like a 3 to 5 year plan. It wasn't an instantaneous thing. Right now, we got a world-class superstar coaching the team. This is going to take time. It's going to take a bit of a process. And I think the problem with South African fans is that we don't have that kind of patience. We've never been bottom of the log. We never lost as many matches as we have, and I think it was being a bit of a process for us as well. But I think it's just a matter of us getting behind. It's like when the way we suffer with Man United, we need to get behind our coach. We need to get behind Mark Boucher, move the politics aside momentarily, and just focus on the game and focus on getting a winning team together. And so far, so good. Well, this time around at least.
Yeah, I think we've made quite a bit of progress in the first test. But going back to the rugby, when Khalid was talking, last year's World Cup is the first rugby I've watched, and I don't know if he was watching, but Hanno van Zyl, he was the one who introduced me to rugby, and he was like, so he was telling me stories about the Springboks and all the ups and downs.
You don't throw the ball forward, you know that, we don't throw the ball forward, and we don't play with helmets, You know that. You
of course. I think I watched the final live. It was at I think 2 a.m. my time. It was unbelievable.
Rugby
I didn't know I'd started enjoying it so early, but yeah.
Aditya, you want to say something?
Yeah. So on the India versus Australia test match coverage, there was a conversation about the decline in batsmanship over the last decade, and one thing that along those lines, I was thinking about what might have contributed to that decline in batsmanship, because we talk about the lack of adaptability for batsmen away from home, but in these times, batsmen are not even able to perform at home. You put a rank turner in India, even the Indian batsman will struggle, let alone the overseas batsman. And what came to my mind was that in this decade, there has been a far more significant disparity in the nature of wickets between limited overs cricket and first class cricket, test cricket. So you play a lot of one-day cricket and a lot of T20 cricket on a flat wicket, and then suddenly you play on a green top in test cricket. Whereas previously, in previous generations, when they had more exposure to reverse swing and there was one ball, they didn't have the power play restrictions that they do now. The nature of those wickets resembled test cricket wickets a lot more, and therefore there didn't have to be such a major adjustment. Whereas now there is, and players are struggling. And I think that's hurt South Africa quite a bit, because on the one hand, on flat wickets, they're starting to find their groove again. But then when you go back to test match cricket, they're struggling, as are most of the teams. So it's more of a trend in international cricket.
Yeah, Aditya, I have a question for you. So
Yeah.
now that the India Australia series it's one win apiece, and normally I'd like to believe that the team that won more recently has a bit of an edge when it comes to momentum. So
Yeah.
going from that, who's in your proposed playing 11 for India for next game? Like, what changes would you make?
I think Hanuma Vihari would have to make way for Rohit Sharma. That's the only change that I can see, and it's not because Hanuma Vihari has done much wrong. It's just because in the next two Test matches, Australia are going to give 200% to win, and we need to have our best play. I think Rohit Sharma has all the makings of a great Test player overseas, and he's got a phenomenal one-day record in Australia. And there's no reason that he can't replicate that in Test cricket. So I think Rohit Sharma would have to be the opening with Mayank Agarwal for sure.
Isn't Umesh Yadav injured?
Yes.
I don't
Yeah.
believe he's going to be part of the team for the rest of the series. So I think there's going to be one forced change. Who would you bring in?
For variation, I'd bring in Natarajan.
Okay, I was kind of expecting to hear that. I mean, I did ask a couple of other friends who support India, and they said something similar.
But it's the only reason for that is because we've got, if you look at a pace attack, the obvious choice would be Navdeep Saini because he can hit 150 clicks. But just for variation, you bring in a left-hander, and I think that can make a lot of difference. For example, today we just learned that the replacement for Virat Kohli in the side was Ravindra Jadeja. In the previous test in Adelaide, every single bowler was right-handed, whereas this time they included a left-arm bowler, and it disrupted their lengths. They included Rishabh Pant not because Saha did badly, but it's because they wanted an additional left-hander in the side. So I guess it worked out this time.
Ravi. This Pogba wave is for you now. Okay, this Pogba figure wave is now for you. No. The question was who's going to win the T20 World Cup, and Ravi goes and says New Zealand. No, the Proteas are going to win. Like Dick says, the Proteas are going to win.
Hell yeah, we're going to win. Hell yeah, we're going to win.
The Proteas are going to come out of nowhere and they're going to bring Marco Murray to the side, and they're going to bring a new revitalized side, and they're going to smash the ball out of the ground, and they're going to play this attacking brand of cricket. We're going to look so amazing. It's going to be
Marco Murray's going to come in at 4 down and hit 40 from 15.
Are you sure you're not the one that's drinking right now? Because it seems at first I thought I was the only one drinking, but it seems like both you and our friend in California, you probably been eating a couple Dorito California Reapers while you're walking around there, thinking about Marco Murray. Marco Murray is not even thinking about Marco Murray right now.
Ravi, then we're going to have Malcolm Nofel scoring runs at the top of the order and taking wickets too. So you better watch out.
Malcolm Nofel is going to play for Afghanistan one day. I can guarantee you. He's going to open the gun. Congratulations on his recent.
I just had to throw that in. I'm just saying. I just had to throw that in.
The Proteas are going to win if Quinton. The Proteas are going to win if Quinton de Kock, Faf du Plessis, AB de Villiers, and Rassi are the top 4 batsmen.
What about England?
That is an interesting
Roy,
one.
Bairstow, Butler. Roy, Milan, Bairstow, Butler. In that order? Yeah.
I think we're sorted.
House trumps yours.
Aaron, watch out for New Zealand.
If we have that, if it's the top 4 that Aditya mentioned, House trumps England. Sorry.
England, without question, is the favorite, right? I'll stand with Aaron on that one, right? The next obvious one is India. But for me, New Zealand's always been knocking on the door for a very long time in white ball cricket. I think they've worked extensively on that, in T20 particularly. So obviously, I think the controversy with New Zealand is that they played a lot of games at home. Fair enough. You can't really say that they had a global standard, but at the big tournaments, they've always come to the party. You'd have to agree on that. But let's just see what happens next year.
Aaron, can I ask you a question actually about England?
Yes, go on.
What is the records of your batters in India? Generally, from the current bunch of players, how do they play against spin? How good are they? Can't really compare them against South African spinners really, because I've only seen now England really play against South Africa. I don't watch them play any other teams. So from your perspective, what is your thoughts on that?
It's decent. The reason why I say it's decent, I know when we've just looked at the England versus South Africa series that's just gone, and I know Jason Roy did struggle at times against George Linder, but the fact is his record, in particular in the power play against spin, is excellent, and it was excellent in the IPL as well when he played for Delhi. He absolutely destroyed Mumbai Indians at the Wankhede Stadium in 2018. Absolutely incredible. So Jason Roy is a brilliant player of spin. We all know Johnny Bairstow. The whole reason why he's going to Sri Lanka is because of his ability to play spin as well. Milan's a bit of an interesting one. I haven't really seen him, and there is a big but, because he could be a wild card. Because when you think he's the number one ranked T20I batsman in the world right now, and there are teams in the IPL, my team included, RCB and Abais as well, who need a number 3 batsman, he could come in, and then we'll see his spin playing ability. Obviously, I'm not going to judge him off what he's done for Yorkshire and Yorkshire Middlesex, because it's against, well, I say English spinners, but on maybe not spin conducive wickets. And then, of course, you all know Owen Morgan and Joss Butler. These guys can play spin. So that's not an issue. And we actually saw that in the last World Cup. We were the finalists. I know we ended up losing in absolutely horrific fashion, courtesy of Carlos Brathwaite, and thank you to Ian Bishop for ensuring that we'll never forget that moment ever again in our lives. But I do think that we are definitely...
Remember.
Yeah, trust me, I'll remember the moment, remember the year, remember the name. Thank you, Ian. But I do think that we're definite contenders, but I do like New Zealand, and another team I'm just going to throw in there alongside the likes of South Africa, maybe, as Aditya said, if they do go with their strongest team, would be the West Indies. And I'd just like to know everyone's opinions on them. Do you think the men in maroon could be a potential challenger for the 2021 World Cup?
It's very doable. It's very doable for them.
There, you mentioned David Malan. I know he wasn't born in South Africa, but he has South African ties, so that means that struggle with spin should be around the corner for him. But let's go.
Did you see what he did to Linda? Did you see what he did to Linda?
I think I'm going a bit off topic right now.
Compare George Linder now to like Chahal and flipping Kuldeep Yadav and all of those guys.
To the fence.
No, bro. It's a whole different ball game in India. Playing spin in India is a whole different ball game.
Everyone's worried about David Malan. Everyone's worried about David Malan, man.
I'm not worried about David Malan. I'm not.
Yeah,
Let's get under Malan's skin. One ball to the head, and Malan's going to be shaking in his boots. He's a scary cat. Scary cat.
Yeah. One ball to the head, he scores 100.
You had to see him there for the blitz there. He couldn't get one run to save his life in the MSL. So, like, I mean, it's easy to perform in a full confidence team when everybody's like expecting to win. It's easy to perform when the confidence is sky high.
The man's average is 75 or something crazy like that in T20 cricket.
Welcome to the show, Piwe. We want to just get some of your thoughts. What has it been like? I know I've sent the link so late. There's too many groups to send it to, but let's hear some of your best moments. Talk about Cricket Fanatics magazine a bit, some of the stuff that you liked from us, what you didn't like from us, what we can improve on, etc.
First of all, I'd like to say I enjoyed joining the family, the Cricket Fanatic family. It was a new thing for me. This what do you even call this? The live shows and all that coming on, streaming, all that was all new to me. So I enjoyed that a lot. It was a first step for me to try and join this and do things like this. I enjoyed the magazine itself. I read a lot of interesting articles. I had lost touch with some of the local stuff, some local cricket, the domestic stuff, let's say, call it, not the local, because I watched the Proteas all the time. But I was starting to lose touch because reading on Crick Info was boring sometimes. So I I think that livened up my love for local cricket. What else can I mention? There wasn't a lot of cricket, which was sad. I wish we had more. I wish we could have had more cricket going on, because I think I would have enjoyed it more, talking about more games, more cricket, because even the cricket now late on, as the Proteas being called off, and then now we're only having a cricket now with the Sri Lanka games. I don't know what else to add, guys.
We just want to say
Yeah.
goodbye to Aditya. I mean, I'm sorry I took up some of your time because I mean it's New Year's already by you. I know I took some of your time with your family and stuff. Yeah, you can just say a few words before you leave.
Yeah, so actually this one is it's for the fans and for everyone. We request you to support Cricket Fanatics magazine. It's incredibly important that we give as many people a platform as possible. In a recent video that I saw, the ICC and the MCC actually pay a lot of attention to social media, and I think this is one way where we can contribute our views and ensure that what we want for the future of the game is heard. So I request all subscribers to please follow and support the magazine, and we hope to produce the greatest content we can for you. Thank you
Thanks
very
a
much.
lot.
Happy
That's
New Year.
amazing word. Thank you, man. We'll see you again soon, Aditya. Enjoy the rest of your New Year's Eve.
Happy New Year, everybody.
You too as well, Aditya. Have a good one.
You can do a
Cheers.
Shikar, the one, like a knee slap, Yeah, there we go. There we go.
The
He's
thigh slap,
only
the
guy
thigh
in the
slap.
whole world that does
Have a good one,
that. He's the
Aditya.
only guy.
Cheers, man.
See you, man.
All right.
So
And tell us how it's 2021.
You guys have heard it. Aditya saying all of those things. The way you guys can support is become a Patreon right now. The link is in the description for you guys to do that and join the family, etc. And you guys will get a lot of benefits that will give you that you can highlight your opinions to everybody. Wow, what a show. Starting to get to that time. I think I'm going to give everybody an opportunity just to say a couple of words before they leave. Let's start with Apiwe because he came on last, so that you can have your say. You can have one more thing. Maybe you can say something about the Proteas. Let's leave everybody with some positivity about the Proteas.
Unmute, yeah. Yeah, the Proteas. Yeah, it looks positive, honestly, not just because we won, but it's exciting times, I feel. There's a lot of young faces around. The bowling attack. We went into a test match with our most experienced fast bowler having played 4 or 5 test matches, which was Lungingidi. So the future looks bright. Lutosi Pamla came in, Vian Mulder came in to add to that bowling lineup, all youngsters. So we seem to be sorted for the next 5-10 years in the bowling ranks. The batting, yes, we had Faf, who's one of the old guards scoring runs, which is a great thing. So the youngsters can learn from someone. We hope he stays on for at least one more season, the rest of the season. So these youngsters that are in there, the Fantonders, the Keegan Peterson, if he comes back and gets a chance, all of them can get in there and learn from people like Faf and Queenie who have been around. I know Queenie didn't get a lot of runs, but he's still Queenie, and the experience is there. There's Temba Bavuma who's got runs now. We might have kept a few mouths shut, which is cool, by scoring some runs for us. So it's positive. We got an opening stand of 140. Was it 140? Yes. Which for the Proteas has been something we haven't been getting. So our test team might not be the best or what it used to be, but there's a lot of positivity around that team. There's a lot of energy and excitement that the fans could look forward to. So hopefully 2021 is going to be a great year for the Proteas and for the rest of us as humans.
Can I go next?
Can I just have a quick one?
Yeah, give it to Ravi. Give it to Ravi.
Okay.
Apiwe, it's 9:15. Ulele, ulele.
Actually, you must ask a buy where I was. He sent me a quick link last minute. I was at the braai, starting up the braai, but I wasn't asleep at all. I was starting up the braai.
So the translation.
Then I asked him, do you have a few minutes?
Yeah.
Ulele means, sorry, just a quick one. So our Minister of Police, right, basically told the entire country we need to be in bed by 9 o'clock. And we mustn't break any lockdown protocols. So Ulele means we need to be in bed by 9. Is that correct, Afiwe?
Yes, we need to be asleep, guys. We need to be lele. We need to be asleep. That's the
So basically,
minister.
Aaron and Abaya are the only safe individuals on this call right now. Everybody else here is in violation. We are all going to jail. Yes.
Aaron, now take it.
Yeah, no problem. Boys, all I just want to say, and of course to the girls on the channel as well, just thank you for a massive, massive year. I mean, it's been a struggle for us all. Hasn't been the 2020 we all wanted, but to come in pretty much every single day on this channel, produce content, produce quality content, both here digitally and on the magazine, I just want to say a massive thank you. And of course, thank you for giving me a bit more of a platform as well. Always happy to help out, of course, give you some both neutral and a bit of bias if it's towards England as well. But I wish both the channel, I wish the magazine, I wish you all a very, very happy new year. And let's all hope that 2021 can be a fantastic year, both on and off the field. And yeah, should be good. Let's just all have a little bit of optimism, cautious optimism, of course. But yeah, fingers crossed 2021 will be our year.
Yeah, and I wish it all the same for you. Please, guys, go follow Aaron as well on the Cricket Connoisseur on all platforms, please. I'm going to give it now to Ravi, and we're going to leave Abai for last because Abai likes to give a little cheeky call out to the rest of the guys. So let's go to Ravi.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Khalid, and thanks a lot to the many cricket fanatics that have sort of encouraged us to continue producing this content. It's not easy. We are bootstrapped. We are a very lean environment. We don't have much of a capital outlay, if you will. Much like most individuals that are operating in the space at the moment. 2020 has been a rough year, but thanks to each and every one of the cricket fanatics, we've been able to keep going. And we ask you to your continued support. Please log on to Patreon. Please log on and make use of the super chats going forward as well. And we will continue to produce great content. And thank you again, Khalid, for allowing me to be part of this journey so far. I'm sure I share the sentiments with everybody else in the writers group as well.
Thanks a lot. Bye. Our American brother that is South African at heart. Take it away.
Yeah, that's a pretty good description. But yeah, let me sign off by saying this much. So 2020, it's been a far from optimal year, but I think I think it's been great with regards to Cricket Fanatics magazine. I mean, since I first joined, there's been no looking back, and big shout out to Khalid for giving me the chance to express myself. I've been following cricket in South Africa for a long time. I've always wanted to express my passion. It's great to have this chance. I look forward to the next magazine. It should be out in January. And for the fans, please give us like, share, and subscribe. Please help us out on Patreon too. And one more thing I want to add is when it comes to Test cricket and the current state of the team, I think as fans we need to take a more relaxed approach. In fact, rebuilding the team, it's not something that takes a few days or a few weeks or a few months. It's a gradual process, and we have to just trust the process as it goes along. Like for example, we've seen Luto Sipamla. He struggled in his early spell, but he made up for that. He made up for that much better as the game went on. So he took 4 wickets in the first innings, then another 2 in the second innings, and that goes to show that he has potential. And if you back the current players, they will deliver. Thanks.
100%. So, guys, thanks a lot for tuning in. Thank you for all the support. Happy New Year. I hope you enjoy your New Year's Eve. Please, as all the guys have said, we're going to continue producing content like we have been doing. We've obviously opened up the Patreon account, so please go click on that right now and become a patron with us, because we would love to give you guys as much exposure as possible and help us create better content. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, click that notification bell for all future videos. Don't forget to subscribe to the magazine. The link is on the screen and in the description. For cricketfanaticsmag.com for all your updates. we have a Sri Lanka series tab, which will keep you up to date on all the Sri Lanka series, and we'll change it according to the series that we are playing. If you guys have a business and you're looking to make sales online, even your business is offline, there's a full tutorial on this channel for you to get our help for you guys. Can't believe I'm stuffing this up for 2020. Leave all the bad behind. Thanks a lot to everybody for watching, and we'll see you guys very, very soon. Take care, everyone, and Happy New Year.